Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a wonderful Wednesday so far. Today we're going to be diving into our daily cryptocurrency market update, and apologies for this being a little bit later. I think it's going to come out around about half an hour later than we usually like to get them out. Had a lot on this morning, but we are going to be jumping right into it. The cryptocurrency markets are seeing a little bit of relief, and that's really all we're calling it for now, from the downtrend that it's in. We're going to be covering and getting into a number of different things in this video. We're going to be talking about some of the sanctions that the US and their allies have imposed upon Russia, given their move in really recognizing the kind of breakaway Ukrainian states as exactly that, you know, their own sort of sovereign states. The reason that I bring this up is because it's very, very well timed that the Russian minister and the Russian government is actually looking to regulate and embrace crypto rather than ban it. This came out before any of these sanctions were imposed, and one of the threatening sanctions, certainly from the UK and the US, is that they would essentially prohibit Russia from using their fiat system. So they would prohibit Russia from using the dollar, and they would prohibit Russia from using the pound. Now, isn't it interesting that they've actually moved and are looking to view Bitcoin and crypto as currencies? And the reason that I bring this up is because it's it's extremely interesting when you look at the kind of power that the US have in regards to them being the world reserve currency and how Bitcoin could essentially take that away from them. Some of the harshest sanctions that the US can essentially issue, Bitcoin would take from them, because they would have an alternative to access global trade, because Bitcoin, of course, is a global currency. So there's lots going on. Crypto at large, you guys know, I don't think we're entering a multi-year bear market. I think we're just having a pullback. Markets have been blessed, really, for the past 2 years and essentially just gone straight up. I've been trading it, I've been investing through it, and I've done very well off it. We're now having a pullback from that. And it's to be expected. There's monetary tightening going on and so on and so forth. Lots of people are worried, and I think it's in these times where you need to get wise and you need to not be emotionally driven, but rather think with your head, think with what's going on and being built here. You know, every single day, crypto continues to advance. We've got here, crypto companies are tempting top talent away from big tech to build Web3. The world is moving towards blockchain, ladies and gentlemen, and you're either on that train or you're not. And the short-term price volatility that we're currently experiencing is largely irrelevant. These are really trader-driven markets. When you have a market where there's more people exiting than entering it, the price downtrends, and vice versa. When you have a market where more people are entering rather than exiting it, it goes up. And we're just seeing a kind of cool off, and we will get back on the tracks and continue to move. But the reason I bring this up, we'll read through some of what, this is Biden's Twitter. We'll read a little bit of this. We'll maybe speculate on the fact that Russia may have done this as a counter, if you will. You know, we've got regulatory clarity from India, Thailand, a number of other countries out there. We've of course got it from China. They just said, look, we're not dealing with it. You know, we're imposing our own fiat CBDC, and everybody else. You know, lots of things in China are banned, not just crypto. But it's very interesting this happened, and we're at this pivotal point. We know we're expecting a bill, an order, an executive order to regulate crypto from the Joe Biden administration. And this was likely to come this week. So we still could have it this week. But what way is this going to go? Are they going to see it, Bitcoin, as a threat and look to condemn it? Or are they going to embrace it? And this really, the future, I think people still think that they're immune to macroeconomics. And if the Biden exec came out and they essentially said, look, we're going to harshly regulate crypto, it would be catastrophic to the cryptocurrency industry. We would sell off a lot more than we have. So we've got a lot to get through. I've already rambled on plenty. So let's read some of this. Today, in close coordination with our allies and partners, I am announcing the first tranche of sanctions to impose cost on Russia in response to yesterday's action. We will continue to escalate sanctions as Russia escalates. We are implementing full blocking sanctions on two large Russian financial institutions, VEB and their military bank, and we are implementing comprehensive sanctions on Russian sovereign debt. That means we've cut off Russian governments from Western finance. It can no longer raise money from the West and cannot trade in new debt in our markets on European markets. Starting tomorrow and continuing in the days ahead, we will also be imposing sanctions on Russia's elites and their family members. They share in the corrupt gains of the Kremlin, on the Kremlin's policies, and should share in the pain as well. Big talk. Because of Russia's actions, we've worked with Germany to ensure Nord Stream 2 will not move forward. If you understand the macroeconomic consequences of everything that's taken on here, certainly the Nord Stream 2, we know we already have an insane energy price rise across the board. I was speaking to a mate of mine today, and he was telling me about his housing. He's not long purchased his first house, and he was telling me about some of the costs, certainly in regards to the energy bills, and how they've literally doubled. You know, there's a lot going on right now, and markets are all trying to price that in, and they're very dramatic markets generally. But when they talk about excluding Russia from their financial system, well, we have a new and up-and-coming one, and this is why I have a little bit of worry. It's going to be very interesting. You know, what happens with... Can Putin just move to the likes of crypto and embrace that, and then be a part of the kind of world monetary system, the global monetary system via that? This bill was very interestingly introduced. You know, we've got the ruble right now. I don't know how many of you guys are watching the ruble, which is Russia's fiat system. It's not doing too well, and neither are a lot of the stocks within Russia based on this. You know, crypto could really be a little bit of their saving grace. But then what does the US do in response to that? We know that crypto has been downtrending. Like I say, I'm adamant that we're not entering a 2-year historic bear market. I think this continues. The bull market continues. I don't think we ever left the bull market. I think we're just experiencing a pullback from that. And technically that is still the case. We've not invalidated any structure yet. But people, of course, you know, the thing is with crypto, it's very volatile. You can still be in a retractive move and the price can sell off 80%. That's crypto. And this is why most people will not survive the market actions, because they just simply can't stomach it. I have had to watch my portfolio sell off 40, 60, 70, 80% time and time again, certainly in some of the smaller altcoins, and I can stomach it, and ultimately I expect a continuation. I accumulate on these dips. I'm a dip buyer because I ultimately think this technology is very early in its kind of adoption curve, and we're yet to see that. So we know about the US President Joe Biden likely to issue executive order on crypto policy this week. We've got this in kind of coordinates with it. Crypto is not criminal. US Secret Service launched Crypto Awareness Hub. Crypto absolutely isn't criminal. The people that still deem crypto as a nefarious industry, they are 100% ignorant. It's like the people that call certain cryptocurrencies garbage. They don't know what they're talking about, guys. I spend every single day in these markets. I use the cryptocurrencies, whether that be for farming, whether that be for just transacting, whether that be for buying NFTs. I know firsthand that there's a lot more to what people are saying. You know, these people that are calling, you know, crypto garbage, it's dead, it's this and that, they've got no idea what they're talking about. 100% no idea what they're talking about. And they're just upset because they've lost money on markets. You don't lose nothing until you sell, guys. Yeah. So this is interesting, the fact that the US Secret Services essentially have launched this and they've said crypto is not criminal. What have we got here? This is talking about some of the top talent within big tech moving over to sort of work on blockchain. We've got the dollar, which is seeing a little bit of weakness. I would like to see this sell off. This would allow crypto to kind of flourish and recover a bit. But for now, this is really just relief from a downtrend. You know, in the same way that when we have an impulsive move to the upside, you'll get a pullback from that. Vice versa, it works to the downside as well. So this is, for me, still relief until we start really setting up structure. And it is a key, you know, we're at this kind of really key level here that we've interacted with for really over a year now. What have we got here? We've got the FTSE, top 100 stocks within the UK. Saw an uptick yesterday, actually finished on the green. Very volatile day, and actually continuing to move upwards today. The S&P is something I'm looking at. I think this could be a double bottom for the S&P, believe it or not. I think you could see something like that. And I was listening to somebody on CNBC that said, look, we've essentially had nothing more. We've not even had a 5% pullback for the past 2 years. You're getting that now. And you're getting that off the back of geopolitical tensions. But what happens when this is all kind of said and done and things smooth out? What are people going to do with their money? They're going to start reinvesting it again because there's not really much of an alternative. You know, and when we talk about it selling off, and we talk about these institutions exiting their positions, they're not exiting because they don't believe in the products that they've invested in. They just believe that the price is going to sell off and they don't want to have to eat that risk. So the only reason they're taking money off the table is to redeploy it at a later date. And you should understand that. You know, this is, we live in very, very weird times. I've been studying a lot of the alternative history of the world recently, and it's mind-blowing, guys. History will give you a lot of the answers to why we are the way we are today. And I would encourage you, each and every one of you, I know people have got this boring view of history from, you know, a teacher in a classroom somewhere telling you that this is what happened and that's what happened. A lot of that's actually very inaccurate, by the way. Remember, history is always wrote by the victor. I encourage everybody to look at alternative history and look at history from a well-rounded view, look at different sides of the argument, and then come up with your own opinion on it. And some of the things that I've found out throughout history have changed my life and the way that I think about things, and they've freed me in many ways. Knowledge is power in many respects, as long as you do something about it. And you know, you should all educate yourself on how we've got to the world that we're currently in. I am definitely rambling. I'm going to really love and leave you on that note, guys. We've seen a bit of an uptick. This was just a short and sweet market update. It's very interesting. Let me know what you think about the Russia legalizing crypto situation. Is that a strategic move that they've implemented, knowing that the US were going to potentially sanction them in this kind of way? You know, the US have a huge amount of power being the world reserve currency. Bitcoin directly threatens that. I can't remember the name of the senator that was talking to the Senate. He was talking to the House about the fact that he thinks we should go after Bitcoin, or the US should go after Bitcoin and try and destroy it because it's a huge threat. Trump said a similar thing as well. He said it was a big threat to the US reserve currency, which gives the US a huge amount of leverage over the world. Pretty much every country out there holds US debt. In fact, pretty much all of them hold US debt. So they have a huge leverage on the back end of that, like we're seeing what they're doing with Russia. That gets taken away from them if something like Bitcoin becomes the alternative. You know, so yeah, I'm gonna love and leave you on that note. I'm not too happy about the fact that they're stopping this sort of Nord Stream 2. I don't think it's the wisest move, but then again, what do I know to sort of start clamping down even more on energy and causing maybe even more of a bottleneck, certainly when you've got prices going up through the roof. And I found that interesting. I'm not going to mention my friend's name. He's probably listening, so shout out to you. But he was telling me that his energy bills, I don't think mine, I've got a couple of different energy bills I have to pay. Mine haven't increased that much, but I know in certain areas they've literally doubled. I think mine went up significantly by like 40-50%, but it's insane what's going on right now in the world, guys. And crypto is, in my opinion, a lifeboat out of some of that damage. All I have for you in this video, guys, I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesdays, and I'll catch you in a video later on. Thank you very much for watching, guys.